Hey everyone, this is me, a quick video showing you a new project that I'm going to be up to. And that project is that I am building an AR-15. This is a Spikes tactical lower that I bought. This is the lower I'm going to use for the build. This one has the spider on that side. I really like that. It has all the spider, the safe symbol, the fire symbol, and all that painted in, which obviously I really like. Now I'm sure many of you are going to be saying, wait a minute Adam, we thought that you were an AK guy. Obviously I am. I am more of an AK guy. I much prefer the AK over the AR. However, I am now an AR armorer, and I'm also a Glock armorer. Well, when I became a Glock armorer and an AR armorer, I didn't own a Glock or an AR, and I figured since I am both a Glock armorer and an AR armorer, I needed a Glock and an AR. Well, as you know, I already bought my Gen 5 Glock 17, so I'm going to build an AR-15. I figured, what's a better way to know a weapon system in and out than to build it yourself? This is going to take a while to do because of the fact that this is not a top priority right now. Obviously, I already have my AK, so this is basically when I have a few extra bucks to get parts, I'm getting parts for this. Here's the lower parts kit that I have. My parents bought me this for Christmas, and this one actually came with the grip. I decided I wanted to have a couple grips to try out, so I have this one, and I also have this Tapco saw grip that I bought. For Christmas, a family member gave me a gift card for Cabela's, so I used the money to buy myself the buffer tube for this build. I was originally going to go with an A1 stock, but I decided since I haven't really given adjustable stocks a try, I need to give them a shot. I'm generally not fond of collapsing stocks just because of the fact they're not as durable as fixed stocks. But as I said, I'm going to give them a try. And I figure if all else fails and I don't like an adjustable stock, then I can always get one of the Magpul fixed stocks that can go on the adjustable buffer tube. I already have a few magazines as well. I bought some of these. These here are obviously the typical USGI magazine. These have the anti-tilt follower in them. Bought these from a gun show. And I also have a few of these. These here are the Lancer magazines. I actually got these from an outlet store. The place was selling these for only $10 a piece. Brand new, still in the packaging, $10 a piece. This is the only color they had, but for $10 a piece, frankly, I don't care. So I got a few of these and a few of these. Generally speaking, these magazines go for $15 to around $20 a piece, and I managed to get them for $10 a piece. A $5 difference may not seem like a lot, but when you are buying a few magazines at a time, then, obviously it starts to add up. I also made a trade with a buddy of mine, and he ended up giving me this magnifier. I don't have a red dot or anything yet, but when I do have the option of using a magnifier now. There are still quite a few things that I need to get to even, assemble the gun, and there are a few things that I want. For example, one thing that I have coming in is an enlarged trigger guard. The lower parts kit that I got only has the flat trigger guard, which is okay, but I prefer the look of an enlarged trigger guard. Plus, I like the idea of a gun being as all-weather as possible. I am aware that with the flat trigger guard, it was designed with the little detent in the front that when you push it in, it hinges down, and that's how the gun was designed to be used with gloves. However, I much prefer the idea of having an enlarged trigger guard and not having to mess with any detents or anything. I also still need to get quite a few of the parts. Some of them I am doing the budget version. For example, there is a tool to install the spring and detent for the front pivot, and instead what I am using is a 1/4-inch clevis pin. Does the same job. I added the tape on there so that it has a little handle to be able to turn it. And this is actually what was recommended in my armor course that I took to use. The actual specialty tool for that purpose costs quite a bit more. I bought a few clevis pins just to have some spares on hand in case I did end up losing one of these. Locally I bought one, and that one was about $1, and then I went to a bigger store when I was out and I got them for less than $1 a piece. So this is much less money compared to the specialty tool, which is $8 or $9, and it basically does the same thing. The only difference is the specialty tool comes with a punch to be able to push the spring and detent in with. However, I already have a nice set of punches. If need be, and I already checked, I could use the punch from my AK cleaning kit, or I could even use a Glock tool to push that in with. As you can see, this is a Glock tool right here, and it fits through just fine. The other nice thing about the clevis pin is that it is available locally, so that means I don't have to specially order anything. The only thing about using these clevis pins is that the holes can sometimes be a little bit too small. It's really not a big deal though. This one here, the holes were just the right size. I didn't have to do anything to them. On this one, the hole was a little bit small. Not a big deal. All I did was I took this out to the garage and I drilled the hole to be a couple sizes bigger, and now it works just fine. You could also take something like this with. This is a 3/32 punch, and just make sure it goes through. If it goes through, then it's sure to work. And then what you can do is, after you buy the clevis pin, this one here is 1/4 inch by 1.5 inches, you can just wrap it in a little bit of duct tape like I did right here, or whatever tape it is that you have. And the reason for the tape is, once again, so that way it provides a little handle to be able to turn this, but also it doesn't allow the pin to go in too far, and it's a non-marring surface on this side. So this here will not mar the outside finish right there. So I'm going to be putting this AR together pretty soon. I don't have all the parts yet. As I said, I'm going to be putting this together little by little. When I get enough parts to make a video out of it, I will make a video showing you guys this being put together, and I think this will be an interesting video series, to see this AR being put together. The next video that you guys see of that lower receiver, it will be when I am actually assembling the parts. I have another order coming in with other parts that I want to put on there, so I'm going to be waiting until I get that shipment in to be able to put those parts on, because I really don't want to put on parts I'm just going to replace with something else immediately, such as the trigger guard, for example. I also have some actual tools coming in for this. One specialty tool that I did buy for this is this. This is actually for installing the trigger guard roll pin. This makes it much easier to do without risk of damaging the lower receiver. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll see you next video. See ya.